Well, greetings, founding lifetime members. I'm so happy to finally be addressing you in this way, and I thank you again so much for your patience. So this is volume 1 of a weekly video from me to you, hopefully responding to questions that come up, hopefully from you, but you know I hear them all the time. So if I don't have anything specifically from within the pool of founding lifetime members, I'll take it from the general public. But thanks again so much for your willingness and again your patience. So I did have a question this week, and it had to do with tapping. Now, it's possible some of you that are seeing this video have not done tapping or not done it with me, but I think probably most of you have. And the question was about a hesitation to talk about and put out into the world negative thoughts while tapping. And yet the answer to the question is that's exactly what we want to be doing, so long as you're tapping while you're doing it. Now let me also just remind everybody that I am not an official practitioner of tapping. I didn't get certified in any way, shape, or form, and I've just been practicing it and teaching it since I learned it myself. I think most of you know that. So the image I get with regard to this issue is really like, let's say you're rooting out weeds from the garden, right? And you need and want to get all of the weeds, so you have to dig and you have to look at it all. And it's gross. Not really. But you know what I mean? It's not the prettiest thing, and we're weeding it out, we're getting it out. And in order to do that, you have to actually look and see. And that's the same idea with the tapping. So if you're really upset with somebody, and you want to kind of tap your way through it, and you're going around the horn, as we say, you know, even though I am so pissed off right now, as long as you're tapping, as you're saying that, you want to say and give voice to and give emotion to whatever's truly, truly, truly going on. When you tap as you're doing that, now we have to switch metaphors, it's like we are actually just kind of shaking the junk loose and free so it can fall away. As we give voice to what we're really feeling and what we're really thinking, and tap at the same time, it shakes that stuff loose and allows it to just go away, leaving, and then when we get around, the more room for the more positive thoughts. So yes, the question is interesting and makes sense. If we're thinking in terms of law of attraction and we're always going to get more and more and more of what we think about and what we feel about, then I can totally understand that question. However, this process requires us to be honest, open, and forthright about whatever we're feeling. That's why you can never really go wrong when you're tapping by yourself. And I know a lot of times people call me and want to have verbiage for what they're going through, which is fine. It's often very helpful to have that assistance, but it's certainly not necessary, because you can't go wrong with who you are thinking and feeling however it is you're thinking and feeling in that moment. And I know for myself when I've done this, and usually a decent tapping session is not just 1 or 2 rounds. It might take a good 15-20 minutes in one session to kind of shake some stuff loose. Also, as you've heard me say, with tapping it's really an art. So you start where you start and then you follow where it takes you. Now sometimes it may take you further down from where you started, and that's when you need to really stick with it and like, oh my God, even though I'm so upset and now I'm thinking about things from when I was 4 years old and crying and whatever it is and screaming and yelling or just whatever, and going through and continuing to talk about and feel that and give voice to everything you're feeling as you're doing the tapping. And then you take the break and you kind of settle in and see where it is. So don't worry about putting out the negativity if you're tapping along with it. There's also the idea of being present with whatever is. So that's that pulling up the weed thing. Ugh, this is what I have to deal with now? All of this? I'll just put it back. That's okay. if you put it back consciously, right? But it's about being able to tap through and shake free from the subconscious all the old stuff that is attached to whatever the issue is that you're tapping on. So, that is issue number one. I should have said up front that I was going to talk about 2 questions today. So I want to move on to the next one. The next one had to do with something that we've talked about in the past as well. Pretty much everything is in that category, which is the intention of the intention. So this came up recently, and the person was wanting to have a practice, newly into the spiritual workout and looking for a practice. So the question was, well, what would be the intention of the practice? Oh, well, you know, and she had some difficulty, as we all do, with that question. And then it was, you know, we got to it, and it had to do with, you know, just having some structure. And then what does the structure give you? Well, some peace of mind. And then what does peace of mind give you? Well, that's what I want. I want peace of mind and freedom. Bingo! So the intent, it started with a conversation, should I have a practice? That would be the intention. And so her intention was to create a practice. And there's nothing wrong with that. But of course my question is, what is the practice going to do for you? Ultimately, and again, what I just told you took us about 40 minutes. Maybe a little less. So what the intention gives you, the intention of the intention, the peace and the freedom and the calm and the joy, the idea is fine to still have the intention for and create a practice if that's what you want to do. But it's really important to think, why do I want what it is I'm wanting? And then to just kind of jump to that and make that be the intention. So she could practice being peace and freedom right here, right now, today. Now, she might still choose to have a practice, nothing wrong with that. But she might also say, oh wow, my practice was just to get me here, now I can, you know, cut out a few steps and think about my intention of my intention. So, that's what I have for you this week. Please, please, please email me anytime and say you want to have a question addressed in this weekly video. This is something that goes only to the Founding Lifetime members, and we'll do it on a weekly basis. We'll do it in the way we're doing it now, and we'll see how it evolves as we go on. And again, just a reminder, we'll do our first monthly class. That is open to everyone. It'll be a $15 charge, but for you guys, free from now on. Thanks so much. Peace. Greetings from New York City. It's snowing, but we're not going to talk about that. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.